everyone, so in today's video I have a couple DIYs for you guys. Super cheap, super fun, and really easy to put together. If you guys are new, hey, my name's Liz. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Also, ring your guys' notification bells if you guys want to get notified every time that I submit a video. And without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the projects. Alright, so for this first project, I'm taking the Waverly chalk paint in plaster, and then I have these 2x4s cut out at angles. They look like little houses. I had my husband do it for me because I am pretty afraid of the miter saw, so he just cut me a couple of little houses, and I'm just going to paint the entire thing with this chalk paint. Besides the front, I do leave a little bit of the front not painted because it's going to be covered up anyway, so it's not like it really matters too much. But I go through and do this to all three of the houses. I didn't really have a rhyme or reason for the size of them. We just took some scrap wood that we had and, you know, like I said, angled them to make a little house at the top. It was pretty easy, so I guess technically this part was, I mean, I guess it wasn't free since we paid for the wood, but it was in my scrap pile, so I didn't have to go out and buy anything for it. So I think I did about 2 coats on each of these houses just to make sure that they were nice and opaque. I like the plaster color because it's not a stark white. It has that kind of antique-y yellowness to it. So that is why I chose that color. But like I said, did it to all three of these houses, covered just about everywhere. And then after that, I got these scrapbook papers from Hobby Lobby. I got them when they were on sale, so they were, well, I guess a couple of them actually came from a scrapbook paper pack, I guess what you call it. So I used those, but the ones with the writing, that was one that I got just as a single piece of scrap paper from Hobby Lobby. I got it for 25 cents. I really enjoy their paper packs. They have a Farmhouse one that is right up my alley, has so many cute papers in it, so that is where I got the polka dot one and the one with the cotton balls. But I do know that the one with the cotton balls you can also buy as a single, so if you're looking for those scrapbook papers, you can get them at Hobby Lobby. So normally they're 69 cents. Don't pay 69 cents for them. Wait till they're on sale for 25 cents a piece. Or like I said, you could wait till their scrapbook packs are on sale and get them for even cheaper. They have lasted me forever. So I just went through and traced my houses onto the pieces of paper, cut them out, did a different one for each house. I did end up messing up and cut 2 of my houses out of the same paper, so I had to fix it. So after that, I go ahead and Mod Podge these onto my houses. One thing with doing this that I have learned is not to Mod Podge top and bottom all at once, if that makes sense. So I would Mod Podge right here, put the paper on top, make sure it's all nice and smooth, wait till that's dry, and then Mod Podge on top. I have just found that it creates less bubbles when doing this. When I did this the first time, I did the Mod Podge onto the wood and then did it on top of the paper, and it just had a lot more bubbles than I would have liked and kind of made it hard for the ends to lay flat and stick flat to the wood. So there's my little tip for you. Maybe just wait until the first layer of Mod Podge is dry and then go over the top of your piece of paper with Mod Podge after that. So I just do this to all three. Like I said, Mod Podge on the wood, stick the paper down, do the Mod Podge on top. And after those are all dry with all three, I am going to take a piece of sandpaper, a pretty nice heavy grit of sandpaper. I don't remember exactly the grit that I used. I want to say, I don't know, 220 or maybe less than that. I can't remember. Anyways, maybe I'll be able to see it. Maybe not. So I take it and run it along all the edges. This helps get the excess paper off of your wood. So any paper that was, hanging over the edges a little bit, it helps remove the excess. And I also wanted these houses to look a bit distressed. So I love the way that this looks with going over it with sandpaper. So you can see it looks a little ripped, a little tattered. That's what I was going for. And I really, really love the way that these turned out. I also take the sandpaper and go along all the edges of the little house on the front and the back, just so that everything looks nice and distressed. I just love the way that it looks. I like the raw wood peeking through. I think it gives it a lot more dimension, and so it doesn't look like just, a flat block of wood that was painted. Now it has a little bit more character to it. So I just did that to all 3 blocks. Just took the sandpaper to all the edges and the sides and did a little sanding, made it so that you could see the raw wood through the paint. And that was about it for that. It was really, really easy. And what will be left after this is just adding your decal. Really, really easy. One thing that you can do as well after you have sanded your paper down is take some more Mod Podge and go over the edges so that the edges stick down really well. That's one thing I would also recommend. Then you don't have pieces of your paper that's not glued down all the way, and you could, snag it on something and rip the paper up or have it tear. I would just go over the edges with a little bit of Mod Podge and press those edges down just so that they are stuck on there. So then I got these little designs from the Crooked Design Space. The one in the middle that says the Moors, it came as just the little house, and then I added the Moors to the middle of it, and I thought it was really, really cute. So I just stuck all 3 of these down on top there, put some transfer tape on, and stuck them all down. I thought that all 3 of them turned out super, super cute, and this one's probably my favorite out of all 3. We did a Bless Our Nest one, and then had one with Arizona, which is where I live. And I do make and sell these on my Instagram and my Facebook account. If you want to check those out, you're more than welcome to. I'll have the link down in the description box below. You can just go on there and message me, and I can customize them any way that you want. I think that the possibilities for these are just about endless, and I think they turn out so, so cute. I love seeing them on my little shelf of my table that I have sitting next to my bedroom door. They're adorable. I just love them. So I take this twine and I just wrap it around several times and put a little bow, tie a little bow onto the front of them. And that's really it. You could do just about anything with them. You could add a little piece of greenery on top of the twine. You could do a little floral. I thought that it looked cute just with the twine and the bow. It was just my personal preference, but I think that they turned out so adorable, and really, this was like a couple dollars to make, probably. Maybe like less than $5 each. Really cute. So this next project, if I can remember what I'm saying, these are 8x10 canvases. Now, you can get these from the Dollar Tree for $1 each, or what I prefer to do is get them in a pack, either from Joann's or Michael's. The ones that I'm using today are from Joann's. You can get them in, I don't know, I believe an 8 or a 10 pack for less than $1 each. So for me, that's a better deal. And I'm going to take 6 of these, and I'm going to take all the staples out. Now, you don't have to take the staples out because you won't be seeing them. It's just what I prefer to do, just to have a more finished look. It takes forever, I will say that, especially doing all 6 of them. My arm was killing me by the end of this, but if you want a more clean, finished look, that's what I would do. If not, you could just cut around the canvas and then tear it off and not worry about the back at all. No big deal. So after I am done getting all of the staples out and removing the canvas, you have a nice wooden frame inside. So I go ahead and take some sandpaper to it just to smooth down the edges where the staples were. And sometimes these frames can be a little bit rough around the edges as well. So overall, I just take some sandpaper to it just to smooth everything down. Then after that, I have all 6 of my frames, and I'm going to paint them all with the Waverly chalk paint in white. And I don't go for like, I don't know, a super opaque look. I'm just kind of sloppily, is that the word? I'm being sloppy when I paint. I don't care if there is some of the natural wood peeking through because it's going to be a distressed piece anyway, so you don't have to be as precise or as careful when you're doing this. Just, go over it with your white paint, front and back, all the sides, all the corners, everything. You want to make sure that these are all white. And, that's about it. There's not much to say besides just paint them white. But after you get them all white, you are going to take your antique wax from Waverly. I have a big old bottle of this because it's one of my favorite things to use to distress. You can use it as a stain. You can use it to distress just about anything. It's one of my faves. So just kidding. I didn't do that quite yet. I lied. I'm gonna glue it together first and then distress it. So I'm taking my hot glue gun, which does have the wood glue. Why can't I think of it's the Gorilla Glue wood glue. So I take that, and I'm also taking the clear Gorilla Glue, and I'm putting them both on there, and I'm just gluing them all together in this little shape frame. So 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom. I hope I'm describing this well enough because I feel like I'm totally butchering this right now. But I just take some glue, put some hot glue on top of it as well, so you get that long-term, short-term hold. And I let it sit for quite a while before messing with it again after I distressed it. So here's my antique wax. So I am going to distress it and leave it there for quite a while so that it has time to set and it's nice and sturdy. You could also put popsicle sticks on the back to make it even more sturdy. I didn't, and so far it's been fine. So I'm basically just dry brushing over the entire piece with the antique wax. Nothing too thick, just a pretty thin layer of wax. So for my third piece to go along with the frame, I got these little wreaths from Hobby Lobby. They were $7.99, but I believe they were on sale. I don't remember. It came in a 2-pack, but you would have to cut the little wooden pieces around it to get them apart. And I actually liked the look of the thicker wreath, so I just kept them together and just used it as one. I got these florals from Joann's, and I believe that I got the eucalyptus either from Joann's or from Walmart. I don't totally remember, but I just started off by cutting off each little stem with my wire cutters so that I could place these into my wreath. And then I also did this with my eucalyptus. So one thing that I like about these wreaths is You don't necessarily have to glue anything down because you can just stick them in there and they stick pretty well. Another trick is to get some floral wire like you see me doing here and just put it through a little part of the wreath and, you know, twist it around your floral or greenery, and that keeps them in there as well. That way, if you ever want to reuse the wreath or change it up a little bit, you can just take them right off. So there is no glue residue and there's no ruining things. So that's just how I prefer to do it. So I just take my eucalyptus and I'm making sure that it's going all in the same direction. And I'm just wrapping it all the way around the wreath, putting the wire where I need it to so that the eucalyptus stems stay in the place that I want it to. So I would just stick the ends into the wreath and then wire it down. And that worked out really, really well. And it's held up really well so far. And yeah, I just think it's a good way to make a wreath without ruining your wreath forms. So after I did that, I took the florals and you can see I just stuck them down in here. I didn't have to use any of the wire. They were pretty sturdy as they were. I just went in all the same direction and stuck them where I felt looked good, where they could sit. So I just put all of them in there. So in total, I used that whole stem of the whole pick of the white florals and then the whole pick of the eucalyptus leaves. And I think that it turned out super, super cute. It's exactly what I wanted it to be. And I'm really happy with it. In total, it cost me less than $10. And if you were to buy this at a store, I bet you it would cost way more than $10. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe before you guys leave. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.